the next thing we're going to look at is floss, and floss is very simplistic. It is just a really big, thick thread, essentially. But what it does like to do is lay a little bit more open, so it's not kind of corded up as much. It's not really corded. You can just put it like that, and it'll open up nicely. But it is just a very, very thick thread type material. So you can see there's a 400D or a 2/0. So really thick stuff. So you can cover a lot more of the hook with obviously less wraps. Really good for using it for body materials, tag sections. So you will find floss is exceptionally useful in certain patterns. Then going on from there, you're going to come across tinsels. Now with tinsels, you're typically going to find kind of oval or rounded tinsels, and then you're going to find flat tinsels. Now the difference being is exactly that. That's a flat tinsel. That is actually different color on each side. So I've got gold on one side and silver on the other. But they just lie flat, and you can get them in different sizes. So that is a large, which is very similar to that. And then that's in a medium, just a lot smaller. So you just get them in different sizes. You get them in different kind of colors, shades, and all that. You can pretty much get them in most colors and shades and kind of different shimmers and glosses and stuff in them. So there's loads and loads of different type of tinsels that you're going to come across. And you're also then going to these round tinsels, which, unlike a wire, they're just a lot lighter. So these you can open them up, so you can kind of spin them and you can do different things with them. But majority of the time, most applications that you're going to come across, you're just going to tie that to a hook. You're going to end up wrapping it in to create a bit of a ribbing effect or a kind of a little tag section at the bottom of a fly. With wires, you're going to find wires are very, very common. You're going to use a lot of different type of wires in different colors and all sorts, really. And you'll see that you're going to get them in different sizes. And now with the sizes, you got to be a little bit careful because they do, again, kind of get a little bit tricky between manufacturers. So in this example, that's a Simplify 2mm. That's a 2mm gauge wire, which will pretty much correspond to a small in the UTC wires. So this is one thing that might catch you out when you go to buy a wire and you think I need a medium wire. You buy a medium wire in this range, and you get home and you've got quite a big, thick, chunky wire, which might be a large in some other brands. So if you're to look at what I'll consider a medium wire or a streamer wire and Simplify, that's quite a lot thinner than their medium. Great wire nonetheless, but you're probably then having to go into small to get a similar gauge wire. So just be a little bit careful there. Just pay attention to what kind of wire you need and what thickness and what gauge of wire you're going to want to use to tie whatever patterns you're tying. Now, one last thing I do want to talk about is fly tying wax. Get loads of different vendors out there that do fly tying wax, and essentially is just there to help you add kind of instant adhesion to your thread. Now, a lot of thread that you buy is already pre-waxed. Not all, but quite a lot of it is already pre-waxed. But it's not there as a substitute for actually applying your own wax. What it's there to do is just help bind the materials when they produce it. So if you go and neck the thread while you're tying, it doesn't kind of completely unravel and make a right mess of things. So you do still use that on a regular basis, and you can get them in different types. So that is cobbler's wax, where it's just a lot darker, and you'll tie certain patterns where they'll call for a particular type of thread, for example, where you want to apply a lot of that into it and just get it to behave a little bit different, kind of go like a bit more of a translucenty olive color, and that's a Greenwell's Glory, by the way, if you're interested. So you do use cobbler's wax with different type of patterns out there. What I like to do is I put my wax through some warm water. It just softens it up so I can kind of tear it into these little chip size things, apply that to my hand. So I'll basically re-warm that up a little bit, goes soft again, and then I'll apply that to my finger. So yeah, when you see me tying, if you see that, it's not a big ugly wart. My sister thought it was a big ugly wart. It's not, it's just a little bit of fly tying wax. So I can keep it on my hand, I can add it as I work. Hope you found that useful, and I'm going to get the next video out. We're going to talk about more fly tying materials.